It's towards the end of March. I'm still in the mountains again. I wasn't feeling that well. A bit of a cold. I dismissed it, did a lateral flow test, as I'm sure many of us did. Came back negative. Thought I'd carry on. My brother and his girlfriend arrived. And then it was the last night that they were staying with me, and they bought some cake. And it was 3 different flavours of cake. And they were like, oh, what's your favourite? And I tasted one, and I tasted another, and they all tasted the same. And I said, oh, they're all really good. And they left the following day, and I did a lateral flow test, and I was positive with COVID, which I'm 99%, I've spoken about it before, I had right at the beginning, COVID in kind of February 2019, so before it all kicked off and everything. So I wasn't worried about it again from a health perspective. I'd had my 3 vaccinations, and I wasn't going through the process. It took some time, and I just thought, again, I'm in the best place. I'm in the mountains, the fresh air, and just taking some time. And that kind of, it was just a bit of a blip, and that's fine. I remember then coming back to the UK. It's interesting, a question about over time, where's good for me? And often, I can't work out the correlation, or is there a correlation, but being back in London, I generally don't feel very well. And is that because generally when I'm back in London, I'm seeing the doctors, and my association is I've got to go and have a checkup, I've got to do something? Is it perhaps the pollution and the intensity of the city? It's really difficult because when it was my birthday, so I was back in London at that time, and I just can't choose when I'm not feeling great, or I am, and I know my partner is amazing and so supportive, but I know, look, he feels compassionate for me if it's my birthday evening and I just don't feel like eating and my appetite's gone. I know my atrial fibrillation's bad. My watch has gone off again and I'm just feeling a bit crappy. That was again May this year. It just wasn't great. It's an interesting correlation, and I'm gonna make an assumption that over time in the future, much clearer about the impact of pollution and air quality and how that makes us feel. All I know is genuinely when I'm in the mountains or outside and not in London, I generally do feel better. When I've been speaking to other people about this, it's interesting, also from a seasonal perspective. I think there's definitely very much things change and different times of year and the weather fronts, etc. It was something that I guess it frustrates me, but also then it makes me think about, look, where do I want to be? Where do I feel best? And listening to that and being attuned to that. So that was definitely a bit of a frustrating time, kind of being back in London. It was just after my birthday in May. I had another assessment back again at Papworth in Cambridge. Was preparing to go, and it was a Monday, and I was about to go to the train station, and I'd ordered the Uber to take me there. I then get a phone call, and it was Bartholomew's Hospital, which is where they monitor my device. And I'd, like a normal routine, sent the data to them, and they'd called me to tell me that my device was going to go off again. And I said, I'm on the way to Cambridge for my assessment, my checkup tomorrow. And they're like, no, you need to come in now. So literally in the taxi, I said, don't take me to King's Cross Station, take me to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, and this time they did adjust the settings. They ummed and ahed, and I said I was going to Cambridge, but they said, look, based on this, we're worried that it's going to shock you again. So our recommendation is to make a change for you. And then it's good that you're going to Cambridge anyway tomorrow, but that's fine. So that didn't take long. I wasn't in hospital very long, but again, amazingly efficient. And I'm appreciative that they're there and that they're supporting me and helping me. And the way that the setup, it does really work. And I'm so fortunate for the NHS. I know people talk about it and complain it, and you watch and see the news, but for me, genuinely, since the beginning, this whole started, just their support and what they do and their availability. And I never feel like I can't ask questions or there's not time for me. It's really amazing. Obviously, I've only got my experience of my GP and St Bartholomew's in Spitalfield's department, but I can't rate them highly enough, and they deserve only the utmost respect. It's just amazing. I'm so grateful as well. Whenever I am travelling in other places, especially in the US, when people hear about my condition or the support that I've got, it's unrivaled, I think, globally. And maybe it's for the heart condition, but again, I can't recommend or commend them highly enough. So thank you, NHS. If anyone's watching in the healthcare system, thank you for doing what you do. Go to Cambridge. And it's interesting, over the years, I think about the different visits to Cambridge. And so the first time I went, I stayed in this kind of home sit near the hospital, shared a room with my brother. It was just a bit grim, to be honest, but it was functional, practical. I was close. And I thought, if I'm going to be doing this, I should do this nice. to do this better and treat myself and not do it like it's this punishment, but do it as something to look forward to in a bit that I can. So my partner came this time with me and we stayed in a lovely hotel and there was a spa and we just had a really great afternoon when we arrived at the hotel, and we're the only people in the spa and it was brilliant. And then we were staying right by the canals in Cambridge, so we went for a walk along the canal, and it just associates then in a different way. And yes, I'm not looking forward to more blood tests and more tests and what the outcome ultimately may or may not be, but at least it makes it a better environment and experience to go. I've talked about in another episode different people that I've gone to at different times, and my partner, he's fantastic. Anytime, if I need him, he'll be there, but it's also about sharing it and not wanting to put so much pressure with him all the time and having other friends come, and or my mum or dad or different people at different times, so that it also spreads, I guess. That's maybe my internal pressure. I know people don't feel necessarily pressure, but wanting to also bring people on the journey. If I do have a heart transplant at some stage, all of them then have got a bit of an understanding of what it is and what I'm going through. And that for me, it's been a really important opportunity to share that, not just with one person. And I'm so grateful for everyone that has come with me at those different stages. We did the blood test again, an x-ray again. We did another cycling test where they put this mask on your mouth and it measures the oxygen and how your heart's responding, all of those things. And they said, you're doing well as you are, and there's no need for the transplant now, but again, come back again in 4 months' time. So it's everything that we had hoped for, and so that was, again, a really good position to be in. So I was really pleased. Summer 2022, I was back again in the mountains. Originally, when I wanted to spend more time there, very much it was about the winter. But actually being there in the summer, and there's an amazing lake. I was doing paddleboard yoga. I was riding a mountain bike, an electric mountain bike, which was amazing. And it's easier going on an electric bike up the side than it is walking. It was just cycling away. It was just so satisfying, and beautiful sunshine and outdoor swimming. If I compare that to the summer 2021, I was then able to do again 40 lengths, 50 lengths, not of a necessarily big pool, but I knew I could do it compared to the summer before, only really being able to do 2 or 3 and feeling really tired and just not in the right headspace. There were some days still, I say tired, but overall, a really great place. The other exciting thing that happened earlier on in the year is that I was able to become an Austrian citizen, and that was because of my grandparents. My grandparents were in Austria in 1939, and they were fortunately able to get out and leave, and they went to Malta. They then moved to the UK when my dad was 5 years old. The Austrian government opened up for descendants of those that were persecuted or that left because of the war, that we would be able to apply and get citizenship. So that took 11 months, but finally though, when it came through, it just has given me then more flexibility again to travel and to be European again and to open things up. So that was a really big part. If I reflect on 2022, a big part that's important for me, and also to be spending the time that then I was able to be without the trials and tribulations of only being somewhere for however many days and counting days and not being able to see my partner as well. So all of those things, that was a really big part of 2022. So I'm really grateful for that. So that was good. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out the British Heart Foundation, Cardiomyopathy UK and Save 9 Lives for more information. Why not comment on the video, tell me what you think or ask a question, and subscribe to the channel to continue to follow my journey.